Hey everybody, Will from 1 Kilo Weightlifting here. Snatching can be hard, but snatching can be really hard if you don't learn how to snatch the right way from the start. So I'm gonna teach you today how to snatch in 8 easy steps, and that's coming up right now. Hey all, glad you're here. If it's your first time here, 5th time, 10th time here, please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you know every time I come out with a new video. Listen, I know snatching can be hard. Heck, I've missed my fair share of snatches in my life, and I've been lifting for over 25 years, and I had the good fortune of being taught how to lift by a coach who was in the Olympics. So I've had a really great foundation. But if you didn't have a good foundation, and maybe you just learned to snatch in a weekend seminar from a book, even my book perhaps, you can be going in the wrong direction and not even know it. So what I want to do is give to you guys today the 8 simple drills that I've done with thousands of athletes. In my performance gym and now my weightlifting gym, I've taught thousands of people how to Olympic lift. And I use these drills to dial in really, really great technique. So if you're an athlete looking to improve your snatch, you can take this drill set and go back and kind of reteach yourself some. You could go from just having been introduced to the snatch and you were just YouTubing away looking for a video, you could use that today and go take these 8 drills and learn to snatch better. And if you're a coach of athletes, you can take these drills, pick, choose, use some of these and add them into your own progression that you guys have used successfully, or replace your progression with these 8 simple drills. So we're gonna go through these 8 simple drills here coming up. It's gonna help you or help you teach snatching and go from just learning to being a really proficient and good snatcher. So coming up right after this, you are gonna get my 8 drills to learn how to snatch really, really well. But I wanna tell you guys have a special treat. Today, we have Pan Am champion, Mary Tyson Lappin, as our model, the one who is gonna teach us how to snatch. And Mary has done all of these. As she's come to me, we put 15 plus kilos on her snatch in the last year or so. So we've done all of these drills as we've relearned how to snatch. So these things really do work, and Mary is proof of it, going from never making an international team to now an international champion. So the first one I'm gonna show you isn't even a drill per se, it's just how to get the right grip. What we're gonna do is we're going to put our hands in a wide enough place so that when we flex the hip, pull the knee up to parallel to the ground. When you flex the hip to 90 degrees, that bar should remain in your hip crease. The goal here then is that if we get our grip to that hip crease kind of level, the bar will actually be above our center of gravity. So when we reach the top of our pole later, our hips will be lower than the bar, and we'll actually have a physical advantage, and we'll be able to use our leverage to thrust the bar upward. So that's really important that we get the bar in the hip crease. On the occasion that you are too tall to do so, then put your hands all the way to the collars. We are going to use a hook grip in this case. So you can see here, my athlete is getting their hook grip. And the hook grip is not just passively placing your thumb behind the bar and grabbing it and grabbing your fingers. The hook grip is an active wrap with the thumb first, and then wrap your fingers around your thumb, and that's gonna give you a really strong grip. So the very first step in learning how to snatch well is to get a wide enough hook grip on the bar. The second step in learning how to snatch is to do the snatch grip press behind the neck. So you're gonna start with the bar in a regular back squat position, resting on your traps, and you're going to make sure your elbows are underneath the bar, and you're gonna press up forcefully into the bar. At the very top of this, I want you to actively shrug your shoulders into the bar. Your traps are going to be the single best supporting structure for your arms when they're overhead with lots of weight, right? So we don't want to depress the shoulders. We want to elevate the scapula and drive up into the bar. So shrugging your shoulders into the bar overhead is an absolute must on this. Typically, we're gonna try and think about the alignment of the bar as well. When we're here, we're gonna press straight up, and the bar should remain aligned with our spine almost behind the ears. Don't poke your head through too much, and don't leave the bar out in front of your head. We wanna have the bar directly over your spine. The third drill is an overhead squat. So we are going to have the bar in that snatch press behind the neck position, aligned with our spine, really pushing up into the bar, and we're gonna descend into the deepest squat that the athlete possibly can do. Obviously, we may see some limitations in ankle mobility or hip mobility. If so, please refer to my video on improving ankle mobility and hip mobility. You're gonna try and work on those mobility drills and prepare the athlete to get a little more mobility. But in the actual execution of this, we wanna think about sitting vertically, pushing the bar up and keeping it aligned with our spine while the feet stay flat on the ground. Find a good, comfortable squat stance and execute an overhead squat here. So now that we've moved away from the overhead position, we're gonna go down to our first pulling position. We're gonna pull from the hip, and we're gonna do a snatch high pull from the hip. And the goal here is to establish a really great hip position, which is a vertical torso, knees under the bar bent, and feet flat on the ground. Big mistake is that athletes will often learn how to snatch when they're in the hip with their torso over and in front of the bar. And when you go in front of the bar with your chest, you're often gonna bang the bar out away from your body because your hips have to move forward so forcefully that the only thing they do is actually thrust the bar out. And horizontal movement is not what we want. Remember, this is a vertical sport. We want to think about things that make the bar move vertically really well. So we're gonna have a vertical torso and bent legs, and you're gonna drive straight up. Now, and we're gonna think about the arm action where the elbows stay above the bar. So this is a snatch high pull from the hip. The bar should be really, really close to the body as you do this move. The next drill in our progression is a muscle snatch from the hip. So just a continuation of that hip position with the high pull. Now we're gonna turn the arms over. So it's still elbows high, turn the elbows over, and we're thinking about an active punch into the bar. So muscle snatch from the hip, same kind of hip position, vertical torso, knees under the bar, drive straight up, elbows high, turn and punch. What we're trying to make sure is that there isn't any horizontal separation. There's not extreme horizontal separation between the bar and the body. So we're trying to really drive up on the bar and establish that verticality of our finish right now. That's gonna be such an important characteristic later on. So muscle snatch from the hip is the next drill in our progression. So now we're gonna move down the athlete's body into our next pulling position, and our next pulling position is going to be an above the knee position. So this drill is going to be a slow power snatch plus overhead squat from above the knee. Okay, so slow just means tempo. We are going to work through this position deliberately first. In my hierarchy of how to coach the Olympic lifts, you need to think position first, then speed, then load. So we are going to work the positions, move slowly without speed at first. And what we're looking for is that the athlete makes contact, drags the bar up their thigh the entire way. So you can see the bar is staying really, really close to Mary in this video, and she is dragging the bar up her thigh as she goes through this, all right? So that is what we're trying to establish, a close position with the bar. The actual action is the feet staying flat, knees are gonna come under as the athlete works from an above knee position back into that hip position that we just did with a vertical torso, and then a tall finish into a power snatch. It's very important that the athlete learn to jump their feet at this stage and leave the platform. Jumping the feet does two things. One, it allows the athlete to go from a pulling stance into a receiving stance. So those are going from narrow to a little bit wider. And then secondly, when the athlete leaves the platform, their action is now, the bar is acting on them, and they roll themselves under the bar. They turn the bar over. That is what, some people say, we're pulling under the bar. You can only actually pull under the bar when your feet have left the platform. So power snatch, a slow power snatch plus overhead squat. So we're starting to connect the dots a little bit from above the knee. So we're making our way down the chain as we head towards the floor to get a really great snatch put together. And the next drill we're gonna do is a power snatch plus a snatch from below the knee. So we start from the top bar in the hip. We're gonna move our way down to, we're gonna kind of squat our way down so that the bar is below the knee. And in this position, we're gonna see that the knees have moved forward, but the torso from the above knee position, which was angled and over the bar, is the same torso angle when it's below the knee. but our knees have moved forward, so it's a little squatty. So it's hingy to above the knee, it's squatty to below the knee. And as we come out of that position, you can see a close-up here of the knees working the way back, right? So the big thing, what we're trying to do in this one is that we're learning how to maneuver the knees back by pushing with the feet. This is not a push your knees back action. This is a push down into the platform action. And if your torso is locked in, it's gonna elevate like it's on an elevator, and your knees are gonna work their way back, okay? So the idea is the knees get back, but the action is pushing hard on the platform to make that happen. So once we do that, we're going into a power snatch, then we're gonna lower it back to below the knee, and we're gonna go into a full snatch. So a really great combo. As a coach, we're looking for knees moving back, we're looking for pushing off the floor, and we're looking for a constant torso angle. So our final drill is to snatch. We are snatching from the floor. And so what we're gonna look at here is we want to look at the setup position at the beginning, and we definitely want to see the athlete balance across their whole foot. Sometimes the athlete will get down to this position. You can see they are a little too heavy on the heels. Bring the weight back forward so it's in the middle of the foot, whole time, just like we've talked about in previous videos. And we also don't want the athlete too far on their toes. So if you see their heels popping up, we want to bring those heels back down on the ground. So we're now going to execute a snatch from the ground. So those are the 8 steps to snatching. We went from the hip or the overhead position, we went from getting our grip all the way down to the floor in 8 simple steps. So really, really quickly, a quick way to learn how to snatch. I've executed this in a high school weight room with 40 to 50 people in 1 to 2 sessions and gotten a whole team learning how to snatch. So this is a great method of learning to snatch. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. That was how to snatch in 8 simple steps. If you've made it this far, it seems like we are getting off on the right foot, so please do like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Also, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Drop your questions in the comments on this video. I'm always in there checking them and responding. Also, drop me any ideas for future videos you want to see on this channel, because I am excited to help you learn to lift better, get stronger, be more powerful. So I will see you all next week right here.